forth and claim the land, for God has given you the victory. Go forth and claim the land, for God hath given you the victory. I want to begin this proclamation pilgrimage with inviting you to bow your heads, close your eyes, and repeat after me a number of statements. With your heads bowed and your eyes closed, repeat after me: where there's a promise, there is provision. Where there's a mandate, there is method. Where there is a sight, there is support. Where there's a vision, there is victory. And finally, where there is declaration, there is deliverance. Couched in this story are found these major truths that I want to lift up for several minutes. Where there is a promise, there is provision. Where there is a mandate, there is a method. Where there is a sight, there is support. Where there is a cause, there is companionship. Where there is a leaning, there is leadership. Where there is a vision, there is victory. Where there is declaration, there is deliverance. Good to see Deacon Sister Williams and Reverend Sister Barrow. She's hiding behind someone. And Deacon Sister from St. Peter's, Horton. Out of Egypt and on their way to the promised land, the Israelites were a wilderness people. Someone say wilderness people. Wilderness people. And I'm humbled by the invitation to come and share on this second anniversary. And what can I say about Reverend Sister Cunningham? Sister Nadine, and all of you fine members of St. Margaret's Road. For a moment there, I thought I was hearing Reverend Sister Veronica Hamilton. But that's for another occasion. Moses, leader, the one chosen by God to see his people out of bondage to freedom, finds himself challenged by what to him was the land God had promised them. It was a challenge. God had promised, God had declared, God had provided vision, God had given a mandate, God had placed it in his program for his people that he would get them to the promised land. Amen. And Moses had the responsibility to ensure that they moved from one place of bondage to a place of freedom. Yes. It was a challenge. Moses was challenged, I say, because God instructs him to send 12 men to spy out the land, yes, to go and see what they were up against, to survey what were the conditions, to ascertain a sense of readiness for occupation. Yes. They were to survey the landscape, as it were, and submit a report. Yes. 12 men, one from each tribe. No tribe would be able to say they were not represented once decisions needed to be made. All right. Time and occasion doesn't permit me to flesh out everything about this story, and so I'm moving in a certain direction intentionally. All right. Come on. Amen. No tribe could say their interests were not heard. People are tribal. You missed that. That's right. That's right. No matter where they're from, people are tribal. You're tribal, I'm tribal, others are tribal. We have a tendency to move in a particular direction with a particular mindset. Our focus is different than others. No tribe could have said their interests were not considered. Here again, the reports that were tendered. Milk and honey exist. The people are strong. There were different tribes. The people were giants in stature. Because of the above, to go up against those people would be suicidal. That's in the story. And I don't have time to read the account again. That indeed the people were strong, the people were big, the people were giants, and they even said in their eyesight, we were in their own eyesight, they were grasshoppers compared to those who dwelled in the promised land. That's part and parcel of the story. But then another report was given, a minority report by Caleb all by himself, that comes out of verse 30. And Caleb, and I read it, and Caleb stilled the people before Moses and said, let us go up at once and possess it, for we are well able to overcome it. Amen. My sisters and brothers, they complied with what they were assigned. The reports were given for all to hear. Both the major as well as minor fact-finding summations were given attention, but only one was heard with any sense of seriousness. Caleb said, wait just 1 minute. It is true that there are milk and honey. It is also accurate that the people are giants. It is a fact that the city is fortified. But let's not spend too much time dwelling on what's factual. Let's deal with what was forecast. Somebody missed that. That there's a difference when you only see facts. There is something serious about people who simply zero in on facts. But in the spiritual realm, you've got to deal not only with facts, but what has been forecast. What has been foreshadowed. Look at someone and say, there's a difference between facts and foreshadow. Look at someone. Y'all ain't look at no, y'all scared of COVID. And y'all have masks on and sitting next to each other and still will not look at somebody. Come on, let's try it again. Look at someone and say, there's a difference between facts and what's foreshadowed. You're with me. I'm going to be here a couple of more minutes and I'm done. I repeat for emphasis. It is a fact that the city is fortified, says Caleb. But let's not spend too much time dwelling on what's factual. Let's deal with the forecast. We ought to not let dark fall before we move forward to possess the land. Now, my brothers and sisters, a further reading of this story in the context of this occasion raises the question of significance, application, and indeed, what's the message to us assembled celebrating this pastor's anniversary? I know we could flesh out so many themes and so many concerns, so many issues. We want to highlight so many other points out of this story, but there's something significant about how this story speaks to this occasion. There's something about application as far as I'm concerned. The story is about wilderness travelers on their way to a place where they were destined to dwell, designated to occupy, determined to inhabit. Wilderness people. Say that with me. Wilderness people. Wilderness people led by a God-directed leader by the name of Moses, who was instructed to spy out the land. My brothers and sisters, there's a difference between being a part of a process, being a part of a journey, being part of a pilgrimage led by certain personalities, but within the context of the church, there's a difference between being led by just another elected person and someone who has been God-directed. Let me see if I can. Let me try and say that one more time. There are pastors and then there are pastors. There are those of us who have been elected and there are those who have been God-directed. In fact, to be more bold, there are elected pastoral leaders and there are those who have been God-given. You missed that one. That went over your head. But Moses was God's given leader for the people. And we've come today to celebrate with a man who I'm convinced is God-given. They were wilderness people led by a God-given leader. As if it were not bad enough that they had to endure the wilderness as they were close to the land that they had been told that God had reserved for them. They had to wait until a report was secured, a possible strategy agreed upon, and no telling what else needed to be decided upon before they could move forward. What was it about Canaan, the promised land, that moved God to instruct Moses to have it surveyed? Was it that circumstances and situations had changed since he made the decision to give the land and to give it to the Israelites? Was it that he overlooked a matter and needed the assistance of human hands? Was he engaged in a teaching process? Was he insensitive to the plight of people who had been slaves, released from bondage, and had been in the wilderness for more years than they could have imagined? Or was it that the wilderness journey took such a toll on them that they had in fact threatened Moses that they would not go any further until they knew exactly what they were getting into? And God said to Moses, now in order to settle them, send one man from each tribe. That'll hush them. Questions abound. Definitive answers are yet to be disclosed. What is helpful, though, for us on this occasion is to affirm that that to which the Lord leads in order to bless, there are challenges, obstacles, disappointments, distresses, dullness, dark times, and doubts. Let me repeat that, because some of us believe that when you get on God's side and you do what God says, and you're going in the direction that God sends, and you believe that God has just blessed you, and you get to the place where when people call you and ask you how you're doing, I'm blessed and highly favored, you believe that there are no... Oh, come on, somebody is with me. That to which the Lord leads in order to bless, there are challenges, there are obstacles, there are disappointments, and repeating for emphasis, there are distresses, there are dullnesses, and there are dark times. Even though God is taking you to a place He has already declared for you, you gotta go through some stuff. Oh, you're gonna have to cry sometimes. You're gonna have to wonder, Lord, did I really hear from you? Or do I need to go and find some prayer partner to encourage? Oh, let me tell you, the God that we serve is a God who makes promises, who has already stored up for us some things, but we've got to go through some things. The psalmist says, yea, though I walk. Y'all stay with me. I know some churches are just getting started. Go through the valley, shadow, I'll fear, for thou, and there's a table before me, the presence, anoints my head with oil, my cup, surely. And I've gone through all of that, surely goodness shall follow all the days, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord. And so, let me tell you, I'm almost done. I hope I'm almost done. The preacher pastor is called to give direction, to provide leadership, and to provide leadership to people whose experiences are unique, whose desires are focused, whose strengths are strained, whose patience is selective, whose vision is tunnel, and who would rather reside on a flowery bed of ease. If we were to take a poll of each one of us in this place, each person in other household of faith, not a living one of us would agree that we would rather have bumpy times than smooth times. Only a fool would say, I'd rather drive on a road with potholes than to be able to smooth. That's right. My Lord. The preacher pastor is called to possess a spirit like Caleb. Help me, Holy Ghost. Thank you, Lord. Since the Lord said it, we can secure it. Oh, I wish I could. This has been a trying week for me, but something says to me, just go ahead and let the Lord have his way. But the preacher pastor is called to possess a spirit like Caleb. Since the Lord said it, we can secure it. Since the Lord promised it, we'll have the provisions for it. Since the Lord declared it, he will deliver it. Come on, let's go get it. And I believe that's what I hear in your theme. That no matter what it looks like, the Lord, come on, somebody help me preach. The Lord has already said it. The Lord has already declared it. The Lord has already determined it. Let's just get up from our do-nothing sense. Let's get up from our complaining sense. Let's get up from our uncertain sense. Let's get up from our grasshopperish sense. Let's get up and go and see what the end is going to be. I don't know what God has said to Jerome Johnson, but I believe God has given him some promises. God has provided him with some insights. And so he says to all of us within this household of faith, we can do it. We can get it. Let's claim it. Let's go and achieve it. Let's go ahead and stamp God's approval on it. Have I got any witnesses? That's how God works. When God gets ready, he has his blessings already in store for us. But we've just got to go through some stuff. Every round gets a little higher. Preacher pastor is called to possess a spirit like Caleb. It's ours. Let's go. Hold on to it. You may have to cry, but there will be celebration. You may have to struggle, but there will be a spread. You may have to wonder, but it will be worth it all. You may have to fight, but there will be a festive occasion. You may have to navigate, but there will be a whole lot of niceties. You gotta go through something so you can receive what God has for you. But not forget that no matter what it looks like, there is a bright side somewhere. Some years ago, we were traveling from the National Baptist Congress of Christian Education. And we landed because of hurricane that was traveling. We had to stay on the tarmac in Orlando. And I got upset, I got vexed because I was ready to go home. And I couldn't understand, I could not understand. The weather in the Orlando area was fine. The sun was shining. And I saw aircrafts landing and departing, but ours couldn't.
My God, my God.
Ours wouldn't. We stayed on that for longer than I wanted. And then got wind that the report was the airport in Nassau was shut. Because the weather, where I was, where we were parked to where we were going, the weather wasn't the best. And the pilot had to adhere to the person to say, you better not move. You gotta stay where you are. Oh, my brothers and sisters, there is a man in the tower. His name is the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. He knows where you want to go. He knows how long it'll take for you to get to where you want to go. So keep listening to his voice. He'll tell you when to tell the people, let's go. He'll tell you when to tell the people to stay your skin just where you are. But keep listening to his voice. Have I got a witness? If you live long enough and serve God long enough, he'll give you what you need. And so, Brother Pastor, I'm closing.
All right.
Go on.
Hallelujah. Thank you, Lord.
For it doth not yet appear what will be. But the Lord has given you a promise.
Thank you, Lord.
Go on, St. Margaret's Road. The physical says nothing about the powerful. The Lord has determined.
Thank you, Lord.
I leave you with the lyrics of that wonderful song by C.A. Tinley, arranged by F.A. Clark, that's titled Someday. In its entirety, it speaks to the ultimate realm of our sojourn as believers. But I borrow some of the lyrics, rather I'm adapting for this closure some of the lyrics. And it says, beams of heaven, as I go through this wilderness below, guide my feet in peaceful ways, turn my midnights into days. When in darkness I would grope, faith always sees a star of hope. I do not know how long 'twill be, nor what the future holds for me. But this I know, if Jesus leads me, I shall get home someday. Oftentimes my sky is clear, joy abounds, without a tear. Though a day so bright begun, clouds may hide tomorrow's sun. Harder yet may be the fight. Right may often yield to might. Wickedness a while may reign. Satan's cause may seem to gain, but there is a God that rules above, with hand of power and heart of love. If I'm right, he'll fight my battle. I shall have peace someday. Finally, burdens now may crush me down. Disappointments all around. Troubles speak in mournful sigh. Sorrow through a tear-stained eye. I do not know how long 'twill be, nor what the future holds for me. But this I know, if Jesus leads me, help me, Holy Ghost. If Jesus leads me, I shall get home someday. Oh, my sisters and brothers, the promises of the Lord are yes. Look at somebody and say, the promises of the Lord are yes. By faith, keep on walking. By faith, keep on marching. By faith, keep on praying. By faith, keep on singing. By faith, keep on leading. By faith, keep on achieving. By faith, keep on keeping on. Rescue the perishing. Care for the dying. Snatch them from pity. Sin in the grave. Weep o'er the erring one. Lift up the fallen. Tell them of Jesus, the mighty to save. He's all right, I tell you. The God who started you, it's the God who is keeping you. And the God who is keeping you will forever keep you. Go ahead. See what the end is going to be. The Lord has promised. And since he's promised, he'll walk with you. Anybody here knows? He'll talk with you. He'll tell you you're his own. And the joy you share. I'm so glad I learned to trust him. Precious Jesus, Savior, friend, and I know that he is with me, will be with me till the end. You need a faith, you need hope, you need trust, you need to be obedient. My hope is built on nothing less than Jesus' blood and righteous. I dare not trust only live on Christ, solid rock, all on the ground. If he said it, that settles it.